1st, 2020. It is 6:33, and we are all logged on via a previously organized and published Zoom meeting invite. So per our last meeting, I want to follow the same general guidelines for our first online Planning Commission meeting so it goes as smoothly as possible. In regards to public, if anyone would like to make a comment, please have the Zoom call information provided. Once you have dialed our commission's secretary, we'll take your name, admit. David will then call your name during public comment, at which time you will have 3 minutes being your call. And to my commissioners, I will call on you individually at appropriate times during the meeting in order to minimize talk over another. Also, please mute your talk along with her.
Okay, everybody stand, please. Put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, and to the and one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry about that. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sue. David, roll call, please.
Good evening. Commissioner Altschul is encountering technical difficulties, so it looks like hopefully we'll be able to get him online with us shortly. If not, I mean, he is here with us. Commissioner Buckner?
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Erickson?
Present.
Commissioner Hoopengarner?
Present.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Vice Chair Bass?
I'm here.
And Chair Carvalero?
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you, David. Next, the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the agenda? John Erickson? Lynn, second? A second from Lynn Hoopengarner? Oh, great. So, David, can you lead the vote?
Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Commissioner Hoopengarner?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bass?
Yes.
Chair Carvalero?
Yes.
And the agenda is approved as presented.
Great. Now, approval of our April 16th meeting minutes. I understand we have some corrections. Commissioner Hoopengarner?
Just a very minor correction. It says that I received letters to the Planning Commission written by one of her company's plural apostrophe employees. The person only works for one of my companies, so company Y apostrophe S.
And that is no.
Okay, great. Thank you. Great. So do I have an approval for our April 16th meeting minutes as amended?
I move approval.
Vice Chair. Okay, Sue Buckner, Commissioner Buckner approves it, and Vice Chair Bass seconds. David, can you run a call?
Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Hoopengarner?
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson?
Yes.
And Chair Carvalero?
Yes.
And the minutes are approved as amended.
Great. David, do we have any public comments?
I have no public comments at this moment.
Okay. So now it's time for our director's report. Mr. John Kehoe.
Hello there. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So it's always good to see you. Nice to see everybody. So the only thing I wanted to talk about today was an executive order that the city manager signed last week that will be going to the city council. There's a couple of items that might be of interest to the planning commissioners. One is an order that reduces the allowed construction hours instead of being able to work until 7 p.m., they would have to stop construction at 5 p.m. So the hours of construction would be 8 to 5 p.m. for the duration of the, the emergency. Another one has to do with neighborhood meetings during this time period, because since we can't gather, we had to come up with some other way of having our neighborhood meetings. And there are some projects that have, as part of their conditions of approval, that they have to have a meeting for their construction prior to going under construction. So the executive order has this condition, and I'll just read it to you because it is a little bit lengthy. It says neighborhood meetings required for certain developments projects under the West Hollywood Municipal Code or conditions of project approval may be conducted as follows. In lieu of in-person neighborhood meetings, the developer may provide a video presentation of the project and accept written comments and questions for a period of time following transmittal of the video presentation. Comments and questions may be responded to by email communication or posting on the city's website. The link to the video will be provided in the notice of neighborhood meeting. In lieu of in-person neighborhood construction meetings that take place before construction begins, the developer may conduct those meetings virtually using services such as Zoom, which allows for virtual presentations and construction mitigation details and plans, and allow for participant questions and comments. So this is how we are going to try to allow projects to continue to move forward during this time period. And then the only other item I wanted to briefly mention was an item is also proposed that we're calling slow streets. It would identify 5 streets in the community in which there would be about a block or two would be closed for through traffic. They'd still be accessible for residents to drive to their apartments, park, or for deliveries. We would just restrict through traffic to try to make the streets have even less traffic. And the idea is that this would be in areas with high numbers of people who live in those areas, and so without backyards. And so they could get out and walk up and down the streets, and if necessary, they could then go out into the street to keep social distancing and not be so concerned with traffic. So that's an issue to try to help a little bit some people who've been cooped up in their apartments. So that's all I have for tonight.
Great, thank you.
I do have a question. I just want to make sure, I may have missed it, but
Great. Commissioner Buckner.
yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that all of our residents, when they're out on public streets, need to be wearing masks. I noticed that that's not happening. And I would like to encourage, and I think of all the things that we've been learning, that seems to be one of the most important things, the masks and the distancing. So I want to encourage people to follow that protocol. Thank you.
And actually it will be a requirement starting on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a requirement now. So thank you, John.
Thank you, Commissioner Buckner. Vice Chair Bass, did you have a question? No? Commissioner Erickson?
Thank you, Chair. John, I know the Metro Board is supposed to meet next week on the 28th. Do you have any updates pertaining to the rail alignment for the Metro Crenshaw North Extension? Are they going to be tabling that item, or what have we come to expect?
So I think we do need to expect that the board vote on the environmental document for the Crenshaw North line will probably be pushed off. We don't have anything specifically in writing yet saying what date that will be, but our understanding is that, just like every other government, they're having to look at their finances, take a look at what's critical, what's essential. And so they're doing that right now. And so it's likely that that will be pushed off from what we were hoping was going to be a vote this month.
Great.
Chair?
Yes?
We'd like to make note that Commissioner Elchel has joined the meeting officially.
Welcome, Commissioner Elchel. Okay, so I guess that's it for our director's report. So items from the commissioner, I'll call on you individually. Just let me know if you have any comments. Commissioner Jones?
None at this time. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Elchel, do you have any comments? Your microphone is off, Commissioner Elchel. Commissioner Buckner?
No comments at this time, thank you.
Great. Commissioner Hubengartner?
No comments at this time.
Great. Commissioner Erickson?
I just wanted to extend my congratulations to new Mayor Horvath, as well as new Mayor Pro Tem John Heilman, who got sworn in of course, fabulous fashion this Monday. I was dancing along for a little while. I did have, I think, a record number 9 Zooms from 6 to 9 p.m. that night. So I had multiple phones going with multiple screens, and someone looked at me and, well, they looked at me like I was a crazy person because I had multiple things going. But I want to really extend my congratulations to those 2 incredible leaders, and also thank outgoing Mayor John D'Amico for all of his commitment to the city that he brought, especially with the pandemic really starting, and of course, you know, stepping up to lead in that way. And I just really want to thank them and wish them well. I mean, it's wonderful to have them.
Thank you. Vice Chair Bass?
I have no comments at this time.
Great. And I want to say congratulations to Commissioner Erickson for the upcoming launch on your campaign. That's going to be an exciting year. Okay, so we'll move on to our first public hearing, or our only public hearing tonight. We will consider a request for a subdivision of a 4-story, 6-unit multifamily building with 14 subterranean parking spaces in a common interest development at 852 West Knoll Drive. And Jared Coleman, I think you're going to lead the presentation.
Yes. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. The item on today's agenda is the request, as stated, for the subdivision of an approved 4-story, 6-unit multifamily build over 14 subterranean parking spaces into a common interest development. The 7,680 square foot project site is located at 852 West Knoll Drive, south of Santa Monica Boulevard, within the R3C residential zone. By approving this application, it will allow the development to be subdivided into multiple ownerships by establishing the separate condominiums, which is the subject site is here. The item tonight for the subdivision request only, pursuant to state law, all subdivision applications must be reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission at a public hearing and after making the required findings. Since the development was already approved, the development itself, including the development standards and design, are not before you this evening. It is staff's assessment that the subdivision of this building will not be detrimental to public welfare and is consistent with the city's zoning ordinance and general plan. Therefore, staff recommends that the commission approve the subdivision request subject to the findings and conditions of approval set forth in the draft resolution.
Thank you. So, commissioners, when I call your name, please let me know if you have any questions for staff. Commissioner Erickson?
No questions.
Commissioner Hubengartner?
Not a question, but Jared, if you would just confirm for the record about the noticing that I emailed you about earlier, that per the noticing diagram, it appeared that all the weird corners of this lot didn't quite extend to the radius map. And you had stated in the email that, in fact, those corners were, in fact, incorporated in the noticing requirement. Is that still true?
Yes, it is true.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Erickson?
I have no questions, thank you.
Sorry, okay. I think I've lost my, Commissioner Altschul?
No questions.
Commissioner Jones?
No questions, thank you.
Vice Chair Bass?
No questions, thank you.
Great. Do we have any commissioner disclosures? I would assume not, okay. David, do we have any public speakers at this time? David?
I'm sorry, we have no public speakers, but we do have the owner, applicant, and the architect available for questions in the waiting room.
And do they want to make a presentation? David,
sir,
are you? Okay.
there you go.
Hello.
Would you like to make a presentation, sir?
Great.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
Excellent. Do we have everyone else here? Our architect was supposed to join in, Mr. Kervin and Kervin Liu, and also do we have? Oh, there's J-Rod. So hello, everyone.
Hello. Please go ahead and make a presentation.
Oh, for me to make a presentation, I thought I was just here as the owner for questions.
Okay, so David, I'm sorry, I've lost visual, so I'm just sort of following along. So the owner does not want to make a presentation, and we don't have any public speakers. Do we have any questions for the applicant at this time from commissioners?
No.
Okay, so then commissioner deliberation. Do we have any comments that we need to consider? Commissioner Erickson?
I have nothing to add. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoopengartner?
Nothing to add.
Commissioner Buckner?
I have nothing to add, but I do want to remind the public, for those people that are watching, that last year the state changed the procedures for with regard to the approvals of these subdivisions, and the Planning Commission is merely going to acknowledge that they have complied with all the statutes and so forth, and that we are basically just going to affirm the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Buckner. Commissioner Jones?
I don't have any questions at this time or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ulchel?
None, thank you.
Vice Chair Bass?
I have no questions. I'm prepared to support staff's recommendation.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
I'm happy to make that motion.
I can second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Bass. Commissioner Hoopengartner, was that you?
Yes, I can second.
Great. David, can you call a vote?
Thank you. Vice Chair Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Hoopengartner?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Commissioner Elchel?
Yes.
Chair Carvalero?
Yes.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Great. Thank you. Sorry about the mix-up there. I've lost my visual, so I'm just following along. So item 11, we have no new business. Item 12, no unfinished business. We have nothing on the excluded consent calendar. Do we have items from the staff? The planning manager's update?
Yes, I'll be very brief. We have no meeting on June 6th. That was canceled because of West Hollywood Pride, or LA Pride, but obviously it's not being reinstated, even though Pride is sadly not happening. The next time we meet will be the second meeting in June, which will actually be a few meatier items. We're going to hear ZTA and a CUP related to short-term rentals, and we're going to hear an update on SB 743 and the VMT, vehicle miles traveled traffic analysis. So that'll be the first time that we have some more substantial items here while we're doing the Zoom meetings. So we'll look forward to that and be ready for that. And good to see everybody. And I'm here if you have any questions for me.
Jennifer, when are we going to be looking at larger scale projects again? Is that anywhere on the agenda, or is that all on hold?
They're not on hold. They're not on hold. I don't know if you can ever say that a pandemic happens at a good time, but as far as our planning commission agendas, it was it was an okay time. It was manageable. So we only had these subdivisions really coming up at that point. But over the summer, we're going to start seeing some regular projects coming back through. So I think, people held off a little bit because of the crisis, but we'll have, like I said, the next meeting that we have is going to be fairly substantial. And then after that, we're going to have some more actual projects coming forward.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for staff?
Yeah, question?
Go ahead.
To Rogerio. The next meeting is June 11th, correct?
18th.
The 18th. Okay, I got all mixed up. I have no idea what day it is.
Understandable.
It's Lynn here, Rogerio. I do have a quick question for Jennifer on design review. Do we have anything in the queue for that? And
yes.
So what the calendar might be for that?
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up. Let me see if I can get, I don't have the look ahead in front of me, but I know that I think not till July are we going to have items, but then we are going to hear one that I don't know that it went to the design review subcommittee previously, but we can look into that. It is an item that's been continued for a long period of time and coming back around. It's a project on Palm Avenue. That'll be the first thing that the design review subcommittee hears, and then followed by some other substantial projects coming through. But that won't be till July, and we will we'll have some conversations on how we handle that through Zoom and all of that.
Is that July 9th, Jennifer?
Give me 1 second and I'll look that up.
I can interject on that.
Oh, thank you.
July 9th, we actually have tentatively planned 923 North Palm Avenue, which is the senior congregate care facility. And then on July 23rd, we have 8850 Sunset Boulevard, which is a mixed use hotel development.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Any other questions for staff?
Thank you.
Is 8850 an item that we've heard before? Or is that a new development?
It's a new development.
Okay, sorry. There's a lot of sunsets.
Yeah, I hear you.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to move on to David. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay, so items from the commissioners. When I called your name, let me know if you have any comments. Commissioner Erickson?
I just want to congratulate Jared, who I think just beat Mr. Eck on the fastest planning commission meeting, and it was via Zoom. So I just would like to congratulate him and welcome him to the West Hollywood family. And hopefully Brian doesn't mind giving up the trophy that I'm sure he has in his office once this is all over and he can get it again.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoopengardner?
Nothing at this time.
Great. Commissioner Buckner?
Yes, thank you. Whoops. I just want to ditto my other commissioners. Congratulations for our mayor and our vice mayor. So I know that it's going to be an interesting and exciting year, and I hope that we all stay with it and supportive of this process, and that we all stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Buckner. Commissioner Jones?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Altschul?
No, thank you.
Okay, Vice Chair Bass?
I said it at the last meeting and I want to say it again, that I just really appreciate the incredible work of our city administrator and all of our city staff. They're working so hard to keep our community safe, and I see it and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Vice Chair Bass. So we've done subcommittee management. So I'll adjourn our Planning Commission meeting to our next regular scheduled meeting, which will be at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, June 18th, 2020, likely using the same online format. Everyone stay safe, and thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Bye.
Bye.
Fountain Avenue, and Fairfax Avenue. Consider this the green light to see for yourself. And visit weho.org/coronavirus for more information on the City of West Hollywood's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Tune in tomorrow for a special Instagram story tribute for Harvey Milk Day. Stay safe, Hollywood.
The City of West Hollywood is getting the word out about the 2020 census. The census counts every person living in the United States every 10 years. And due to the coronavirus crisis, the deadline